I want to welcome you to the Ask Jeff YouTube channel. Here's today's question. What is the strongest argument against the papacy in your view? Well, there's multiple ways of approaching this topic. There is a pure historical view, and there's what we would call a biblical view. Now, you didn't distinguish which one, so I'm going to start biblically and then go historically. Biblically, Matthew chapter 23, verse 9. Pretty simple. Jesus makes the statement, call no man your father. Now, we understand that the papacy, pope, that means papa, one who is father over. Therefore, it kind of goes in line with that's not what we're supposed to do scripturally, biblically. Secondly, one of the titles he refers to himself as is as the, quote, vicar of Christ, the representation of the embodiment of Christ that is reserved for Christ alone. And in John chapter 16, Jesus said, if you need another comforter, which we do, I will send the Holy Spirit. That's the role of the Holy Spirit, not the role of a guy hanging out in Vatican City. A host of other, in fact, one of the things you'll discover is you just go do a Google search. All the titles that the papacy allows himself to be referred to are titles that are referred for Jesus Christ alone. Secondly, kind of a blend to the biblical to the historical. Matthew chapter 16, famous passage where Simon Peter acknowledges that Jesus is the Christ. And basically in that passage, Jesus says that he has acknowledged the truth. Okay, and Jesus says, and upon this rock, I will build my church. Now, those who would advocate the papacy believe that he was talking about Peter, and he was the rock of which started what we know as the papacy. The only problem was, if you look at that passage, the way that it actually took place, when Jesus was talking to Peter, maybe 15, 20 feet away, he would never have referred to Peter as this rock. He would have called him that rock. Jesus was referring to himself. Third and finally, historically, what you and I know as the papacy did not even really develop until really mid to late 5th century. And so therefore, the first real pope didn't come till hundreds of years until after Peter went to the grave. And honestly, if you go back and look up the historical record, all the individuals and the dates that are given in those first 3 to 4 centuries, they were not representatives. They were not key figures, much less the key figure in the church. It's just a mess. And then you get to the Great Schism where you have 2 popes that are trying to excommunicate each other. It's just not found in the Bible. It's spoken against in the Bible, and it's just a historical mess. All that being said, I think you put that all together and you got a pretty good argument that there's only one person that we should acknowledge as the representation of God himself, and that is Jesus Christ. Great question. If you have one, send to askjeff.net. Maybe your question be tomorrow's. Thanks for being a part of today's daily question. Now, we answer a question each and every day. Please feel free to submit a new question at askjeff.net. We may not have gotten to yours today, but we eventually will continue to be a part of this. Subscribe so you don't miss out on a question every day.